All right, I'll go right into our stuff. Obviously, we were on the same trip with Coach Velderman, and we found a way to split on the road, which isn't easy. Obviously, we ran into a good Valley City team that we talked about earlier in the last couple of weeks of kind of circling on their calendar. They didn't play with their couple top players last time when they were here. We beat them quite easily, and then to play Valley City at their place is never easy, even if they didn't have a couple of their players. So we had our hands full, but we definitely helped them out. The first half, probably 6 or 7 point blank looks. Andrew Rebo, didn't finish with some contact and things, and then like Coach Feldman said, it's not like you're going to get a foul called up there and that kind of thing. So we just got to do a better job of finishing around the basket. And then the second half came, and actually, if we would have made our free throws in the first half and stuff, that we probably would have done, or we would have been a little bit closer and only been down, 7, 8 points instead of, we were down 16 in the first half, and we hit a half-court shot. Was about the only thing that went in the first half against Valley City. But if we would have made some free throws, we would have been a little bit closer, because then we started out the second half and pretty much were there the rest of the time. The first even 3 or 4 minutes, we were right back into the game. So our guys did what they needed to do. We just couldn't get over that hump. We kept getting to 4 points. I think we got to 2 once, but that 4 or 6 points, and then we'd do something or give up an easy basket or whatnot. But still played well, still played hard. We were very excited about that second half, and then taking that into the Jamestown game. And it's kind of the same deal. We handled them pretty good, beat them by about 30 points up here. And they were struggling on the road. We talk about Omaha being on the road and some of those. It's not easy. There's no question about it. And Jamestown was the same thing. They're an independent up there in the NEI, and when they came to our place, I think they'd played like 8 or 9 games on the road and lost 7 or 8 of them. And then they finally got a chance to get back home, get things straightened out a little bit, sleep in their own beds a little bit. And I think they were 9-2 or 9-3 at home. So you even look at our record, and even the record that we had tied with that 86 team, and 12 losses, and all 12 were on the road, and they were 10-0 at home. It's such a difference mentally, physically, just everything. So Jamestown, we knew we were going to have our hands full with them up there. They just came off of a huge win against Valley City a couple nights before, went overtime, just did everything they needed to do to be, like I said, a very good Valley City team. And our guys came ready to go and did a great job. Didn't shoot the ball overly well again, but just defended the heck out of them. I think we gave up 39 points the first time we played them at home. And then they scored 45, I think, this last time. So, our defense was definitely there. They did a great job of, Coach Glenn has a scout for them. And that was probably as good a game, I think, that we've taken over the scout and then put it to what they're supposed to do. That's one of the things we've really struggled on this year, understanding the players, understanding how important it is especially for our program, where we got some good, smart kids that we might not be as talented, might not be as athletic as the other team, but we really, really stress how important the scout is, or the preparation going into that game. And sometimes the guys come from a lot of different programs that they can just kind of show up. And a lot of our guys come from programs where they win a lot of games. So they're like, why in the world do we just showed up and we won, and away we go. So they're really learning that process of the game and the mental aspect of it. And I think that, well, it was. There's no question that was the best we've had going in, because we threw a bunch of stuff at them. And they handled pretty much everything as far as how to defend different stuff, and I was really proud of the guys that way, and I think that was the difference in the game. Other guys that stepped up, Philip Shanelek on the weekend, he's had a great last few games. He kind of got in that little freshman funk, we call it, a few games ago, kind of snapped out of it. It's nice. We tried or I think James talked about Troy White too, when we're down in California and playing in front of family and friends and all that kind of stuff. And he had just great games. And Philip's kind of been the same way. When he had a chance to play in front of, I think, 50, 60 people, came and watched him play in Valley City. He's a big-time player from that area. Sat out last year's redshirting, and then his fans, not just family. I mean, he had fans there too that liked watching him play so much in high school. Wanted to see him play in college, and he really played well there. And then I think led us scoring or right there in both of the games on the weekend. So, and then Justin Shook's another one. We've been talking about him where when Caleb Schockman was a guy that was going to sit out the second semester, we needed a guy like Justin to step up, and he's got some playing time now, and he played pretty well. The first half against Valley City, we actually had to go small and played Connor at the post, and I don't even know if Justin played in the second half, but just to kind of get us back in the game and just the guys that they had on the floor and those kind of things. So, I don't even know if he played in the second half, but then he came back against Jamestown, and, other than the first few possessions, he didn't box a kid out, and then after that, he had a huge dunk and good around the basket offensively, but then got some big rebounds, had a couple good assists, and I just don't know what it is with him and Dennis, if they got something going on that if they're 2 feet from the basket and wide open, they decide to kick it out for the three. I don't know if James Dean is paying them off or some of our shooters or what's going on, but Justin's got to figure out. Coach Glenn, once again, he works with our post guys, and he's got it figured out. Justin has as far as getting into guys, getting deep around the basket, and I don't know if Coach forgot to relay the message that once you get that great positioning down there, once you bury him underneath the basket, now you shoot the ball. I don't know if we got to that point yet because he's doing what he needs to do to get to that. Our guys are getting him touches, and then he's kicking it back out. So, like I said, he's done a great job for us, and we need him to do a good job again this weekend. But going forward, that's just good to see. We're excited about our posts and our program, but I don't know. They don't need to be so nice to the guards. They need to do something when they do their job of finally getting the ball down there and scoring. So it was a good weekend overall. You always want to go in and get a split. Well, you always want to get both wins, but especially if you lose the first one, the pressure's on to get the second one, and our guys stepped up to that pressure. We got one more game. We head down to Adams State. They're definitely in the top half. They've been one of the top teams in the RMAC. I think they only have 4 losses, which seats them about second as far as losses go. At their place, so we're going to have our hands full. It's going to be one of the most athletic teams. They're going to press the whole time. Our practices this week will consist of about 7 guys, 8 guys being on the floor, and us trying to play offense against them, because that's what it's going to look like when we're out there with really athletic, long guys that play their tails off. So we're definitely going to have our hands full. Long bus ride again, but it is our last game, and I know our guys are going to be ready to go. And we've been through it all. We put our guys through, like Coach Felderman said, hell this year. There's no question about it, but it doesn't get any better next year either. So that mental toughness has got to be there, and hopefully continue on to next year. So questions? Mm-hmm.
Ball there, but he surprises me with his aggressiveness at times. Defensively, I think is what you're hoping they can improve a little bit.
Well, no question, and we always tell the story is Phillip was probably the one or the worst defensive player we've ever had come into our program, and it's not because he wasn't capable of doing it. It was he's super athletic. I mean, he can go up and 360 dunk, and he's 6 feet tall, and extend or gets up on his jump shot and attacks the basket and finishes, and he's strong. Just does so many great things on the offensive end. But when you come from a program that he did, and like I say, he's a Mr. Basketball, and he scored a ton of points and all those fun things. Well, they had to make sure that he didn't get in foul trouble, because if he's anywhere close to a guy and he gets 3 or 4 fouls and they don't have him to score literally 30 points a game, his high school team probably doesn't score 45 points a game. I mean, that's just how it was, and that's all he's been told. He's told. Well, he comes here and thinks that's how it works. Well, as you know, to be in any college program, much less our program where defense is number 1, number 2, number 3. Hopefully we can get offense to the second one of these years, but he's going to be a big part of that to be the offensive threat. But him coming back last year at semester time, And he struggled with some things first semester, not just basketball wise, but being away from home and all the things that a lot of freshmen do struggle with. He figured that part out. Second semester, he comes back just absolutely loving everything about it, and he was probably one of our best defenders. So you knew he could do those things he can do, but he's very good at keeping guys in front of him when he wants to. When he gets a little bit tired, it's up here, and that's more of a freshman thing in my mind, and he's not the only one, believe me. But what he can do on the offensive end and what he's capable, and he was one of the top steals leaders his senior, well, junior year too, but junior senior year in the state as well. So he's got that anticipation, he's got that knack. He can do some things on the defensive end because he is so explosive. But we're expecting some good things. We had to put him at the point guard spot to start the year when we had AJ, just to get him time on the floor. Now he's able to play it more of a combo where he's playing more of the two, and then coming into the three. And when we made that transition to him moving to the two, now he's got to almost learn a bunch more things. And that's really what we've talked about this year, is keeping guys doing the same thing. Where if they're a point guard, they're only playing the point guard. If they're a two or a shooting guard, they're only playing that spot, so they don't have to think so much. And I think that happened to Phillip, as well as just it gets to be a long season and all those kind of things that we all get to see. But a little bit too much thinking. Now I think he's settled in a little bit more and really done a good job that way too. So we got some high expectations for Phillip, but we do for a lot of our other guys as well too. Anything else? Yep. The paperwork with Dennis Dabowski, everybody should know the story, but we're going to the NCAA and trying to get a year back, basically, that he spent overseas, where he was from, and didn't come to the U.S. right away. So we have all the paperwork in, and I think there's a pretty decent shot that we get him back. But our hands are kind of tied. We can just kind of fill out the paperwork, and hopefully the NCAA makes the right decision. And it's not like the kid's trying to go to the NBA and he's playing, for Duke, and he's, the best player in the country and all this kind of stuff. And we're trying to do it that way. We're trying to get him to stay at the School of Mines, and that was kind of, I had to write a letter of recommendation, if you want to call it that, for him. And that was basically all I alluded to the whole time is, he's an outstanding representative for our university. As much as we need him on the basketball court, we'd love to have him be a graduate of the School of Mines, because I almost sent in his schedule for next semester. I just got their progress reports back last week, and I couldn't even say some of the which is the same with a lot of our kids, but some of the classes that he's in. So I think of the NCAA, I probably should have put it in there, seen the classes, what he's really here for, and getting that academics. Maybe they take a look at it, but hopefully they get that point across. But you never know. I mean, the rules are rules too. It's just hopefully they decide to give him that year back, and so we'd love to have him. I mean, he's another one that the second semester here now, he's starting to figure things out, and then all of a sudden and that's what stinks with these 1 year guys. If it is a 1 year guy, that they start figuring it out and then they're gone. So anything else? So yeah, your guess is as good as mine. Hopefully it's a 50-50 shot. All right, we'll be back next Wednesday, it sounds like. So I'll be back here. We'll be out recruiting, and I was kind of worried that I didn't get to talk one more time. So what snacks? I don't know. I don't have Coach Rudabush coming to buy 15 cookies for us, so I don't know what we're gonna have. It'll be interesting. I know that we're looking forward to it. But Coach Glenn, I think, is going to stay around and recruit, and Coach Henry might be staying here too, so we don't have to make the trip or flying down later, but we'll see what happens. Thank you.